Welcome to Search Talk Live with search engine optimization and marketing experts Robert O'Haver and Michelle Stinson-Ross. Powered by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of Search Talk Live. I am your host, Robert O'Haver, along with Michelle Stinson-Ross. Michelle, how's it going?
Hello, it is going fabulous. The sun is out at last.
Yeah, a lot of things going on with you. You're on your world tour right now, right? You're going to be doing some speaking engagements. So you're actually coming down here to Orlando, which I'm pretty psyched about.
Yeah, so in October, I am going to be at the Merge Show in Orlando to hang out real life, face-to-face with Robert O'Haver of Search Talk Live and talk to folks about social media marketing.
Nice. So, I mean, are you going to be talking about anything particular about it? Or?
We're still working that out. I am co-presenting with Elisa Beyer of the Beyer Group, and we're going to talk about all things social media marketing and kind of give folks, I'm thinking we're going to be giving folks a primer on how to get started and making sure that, you know, all of their basics are in check.
Nice. Well, maybe you could talk to Lisa about being on the show because I tried to contact her. I can't reach her. So
I think I could work that out for us.
Yeah. So today, guys, we are talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, and I think Michelle's too. We're talking about reputation management and the importance of it and what you need to do to keep your reputation as a person or a business in check and keep your forward-facing brand, you know, in the light, so to speak, instead of the dark side, I guess, you know. But today our guest is way on the other side of the planet. And his name is Kris Reid. Kris, how's it going?
Hey, great, Robert. Fantastic, actually.
Yeah, glad to have you, man. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Kris Reid. I'm originally from Australia, but now reside in Cambodia. Software engineer by trade, but stumbled my way into SEO and have been doing this for the last, 8 years or something like that. Quite some time.
Nice. So touch on a little bit what you do exactly.
So we actually started out as a backlink building company. Being a software engineer myself, I started building a online game, and as the game, I was just building it for fun, and as the game got ready, I was like, well, how the heck do you get people to your website to play it? And so I started learning about SEO, and I was just, flabbergasted by, how backlinks are the, cornerstone of how Google works. Mm-hmm. And so I started building links to my site, and it was shot up, and I was like, wow, this is super cool. And so then I built a service about, to where people could buy backlinks and generate backlinks for their website. And then we moved in. Well, we targeted SEO companies as our customers because, they're the people that need backlinks more than anyone. And then over the years, we started developing more and more services to provide content for them and, reputation management and, looking after the whole website. And then we thought, well, heck, we're doing everything for these guys. Why don't we just do it ourselves? Yeah. And so that's how we stumbled across kind of retail SEO.
Nice. Very cool. That's I think that's how we all start, really. Just as people need things, you kind of experiment.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you think, geez, if you had the knowledge you have now, like back then, it'd be like, because, I had no idea what I was doing and no business sense whatsoever. I was just, a computer geek and enjoyed doing what I was doing and, then learned to be a businessman along the way somewhere.
Yeah. So let's dive into it. Michelle, you there?
I am here.
Okay, awesome.
I'm almost through my cup of coffee, so we're good.
Okay, awesome. So reputation management, one of the most key fundamentals of being known online and keep creating a brand that people trust, it goes hand in hand. I mean, from reviews to people talking about your company or your brand. Let's dive into that. Where would you like to start?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, just before we got on this call, a customer that engaged us just recently about reputation management, I was speaking with him, and he is a broker. Well, he used to work for Merrill Lynch, and now he's a public speaker, and his broker reputation, well, there's one site that I probably shouldn't say too much, but they said something negative about him, which doesn't look amazing. And it's not really anything to do with what he does now. I mean, I'm not weighing in on whether it's what it does, but
yeah, we don't judge.
It's affecting his career, and his like he's got a talk coming up soon, which on September 11th actually, which is really important to him, and I dare say it's going to have a lot of prospects that are looking at who the heck he is. And so the first thing you do when you want to find out what someone is, you type them into Google. And so he wants to make sure that gets down and off the front page.
Sure.
And so there's one thing that we try and say to people is talk about reputation engineering and how that differs from reputation management, is that the more successful you get, the more haters there are going to be. There's always going to be some, evil little person that's got too much time on their hands and writes something nasty about you. And so if you've already got in first and made really good content about your brand, like you can control it. Like to rank for things like your brand name, your personal name, your product names, it's usually really not very hard because it's not competitive, right?
Right.
And so if you make sure you've got all of the social media channels, and good content about that, well, then you can control the story, and it's more aged, so it's got more trust and credibility by Google. And so then, later down the road when one of these haters comes along, it's not going to, have such an effect, even if it ranks on the front page.
Absolutely. So there's different stages of reputation management, obviously. I mean, I've had clients where they were in a profession, a doctor. I'm not going to go too detailed into it so that nobody knows who he is. But he was arrested. And, how it's not as bad now, but used to, you type in a person's name and they're, if they've been in jail or whatever, their head shot would come up, their picture and stuff like that. So I've dealt with stuff like that, and those things are not easy to get rid of. But and then there's stages of where you're just trying to improve the overall reviews and outlook on your company. So what stages are you kind of?
Well, I mean, reputation engineering is to get in before there's bad stuff. So I do highly recommend that you do a bit of that.
Yeah. And,
if people are, especially the higher ticket price that your product or service might have, the more people are going to research it. So, if you can make sure there's really good stuff there, then they're more likely they are to buy. So another customer of ours just today who has a drug treatment center, they got a really negative review on Facebook that they weren't happy with, and they removed comments from their Facebook page, which I'm still speaking to them about. And I don't know that that's the best idea. Like, it was a spouse of one of the people that was in their drug rehab that has relapsed, and the spouse was, not happy.
Yeah.
Which, you can imagine that person's going through a lot of pain and trauma and is venting. You can only help someone so far, and I don't think hiding from it is the best solution. Like, showing replying to it and dealing with it is probably a better solution. Like, especially in a niche like drug rehab, it's like you're not just going to go, oh, there's 4.2 stars on Facebook, boom, I'm booked in. It's like you're gonna look through it a bit, and if you see a 1 star, then you look, and then you see what it is, and then you see their comment on it, and you go, oh, okay, these guys seem really reasonable. So I'm still speaking about them to find out. I mean, they know their industry better too, so we'll work out what is the best solution for that. Hiding is not always it.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, a lot of companies, that's where they really fail. They get the negative and they're like, oh God, and they just try to bury it or whatever, when they really should be responding to those and showing, because just like you said, people dig into it and they research it. If they see that you're responding to them, they show that you care.
And especially in a organization like drug rehab, where it's about caring, showing that you've reached out to someone that left a negative review and tried to help them.
Right.
Someone else looking upon that will go, wow, these guys are passionate about what they do and care.
Absolutely. And you really can, there's some places where you take that stuff offline, but if you made a comment saying, hey, we'd like to, make it right or whatever it may be, please contact us. That way you take it offline and it's not, aired out for everybody to see. But, it's really great with companies nowadays are using things like Twitter, because those comments are buried eventually. For customer service stuff,
So really, big companies like HostGator, a hosting company that I hosted with for many years, and they used to be fantastic, but they got bought out by this really big company that clearly tried to cut costs and cut all their support costs, and you just could never get anything raised on support.
Yeah. And
so I used to tweet at them and basically abuse them on Twitter, and then they'd go, "Oh, cool. What's the ticket number?" And then they'd fix your problem. And it's like, man, when it gets down to that, other hosting companies would see me tweeting that sort of stuff, and they go, "Hey, can we, help you out?"
Yeah, yeah. I think it's great. I mean, some people use customer management systems like Salesforce or something like that, where they can actually do social monitoring, and any mention of their name, their brand, they're on it. Amazon's really good at that. One year, I bought some gifts for Christmas, and they sent them to, I had them gift wrap them for me. I literally got them. I got the gifts, and it looked like some little kid just put the box in the middle and just flipped one side over, taped it down, and flipped it. It was bad. I took pictures of it and I tweeted it, and within less than 5 seconds, they were on it and said, "Hey, we're going to take care of it. We'll refund your money on the gift wrapping," and they give me some discounts or something for the next purchases. But they were right on it. It was just, that's customer service to me.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sorry, Michelle, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to jump in and comment that that's usually the first step to any type of reputation management or engineering.
Sure.
Is just making the effort to listen in all of the places that people might mention. And it's critical that you start there, because you don't ever want to come across as tone deaf or, just I don't care, because that is where your reputation starts to, just fall apart, because people feel like, they're just in business for the money. They don't really care about the people. Can you address a little bit about what are some of the procedures and practices to actually listen? Because I know that a lot of clients that we work with, that's kind of the first step. It's like, oh, I didn't even know I needed to be listening in all of those places.
Just to give you a really quick example of just in it for the money, where I currently am in Cambodia, last week, they have a lot of garment factories here. And last week, about 50-odd women passed out at a garment factory that makes Adidas clothing.
Oh, wow.
And, it was all in the news here. And I sent a few of these links to Adidas to have them comment on it, and not a single response, And it's like, great way to show that you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But generally for the little guys, Google Alerts is a fantastic way to hear what people are speaking about you. Anytime that Google indexes something that has your name or your brand name or your product name, they'll send you an email, and that's a great way to get on it. If you're a social media junkie, if you there are different tools. I'm not that afraid with them. I'm more in the search world.
Yeah, but I mean, it's if you're a large brand and monitoring that wherever your name, your brand might come up, you need to engage with those people that are, whether good or bad, you know.
Yeah, address it. Ideally, never do anything bad, but
right.
No matter what you do, there's going to be haters somewhere along the line. So you address it and deal with it, and hopefully move forward.
Yeah.
If you did do something wrong, well, there's your opportunity to grow from it. And like you said with your experience with Amazon, it's now you give them praise for dealing with it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I even people, even though Twitter is a feed, but everyone in their feed is seeing that, that they're seeing that, wow, they took care of that customer. To me, it's huge. I mean, you don't see it that much nowadays, which is really kind of a shame or sad.
Yeah, I mean, the cost of acquiring a customer is huge. It's like, look after the ones you've got.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. I mean, what would go ahead, Michelle, if you were going to say something.
I was just going to kind of jump in there about claiming your brand and making sure that you're paying attention to all the places your brand might be listed that you need to be in control of. For example, Yelp, or making sure that you are paying attention to ratings and things. Although the only way you can rate a brand on Facebook is if they've actually set up their Facebook page and done all that stuff properly. Those are places that you need to pay attention to that Google alerts won't necessarily pick up. But one thing that's interesting, particularly about Yelp, and this is started more in recent years than historically with Yelp, in that even with negative reviews, there is an opportunity if you engage, if you fix the problem, because hello, we're all human. Problems happen. It's not that everybody's out there to just bash your brand. Things happen. And when you can deal with those things authentically and with the proper humanity, there's an opportunity, particularly in Yelp, for that reviewer to come back and edit that review and say, yeah, we did have a problem, and I have to now give the brand kudos because not only did they handle it, but they did a superb job. They turned this entire situation around. There's actually opportunity in a lot of these review sites to take that negative and turn it into a positive, which usually benefits the brand even more than just a straight up positive review.
Yeah. And a lot of cases too, where someone will give you a review and they give you 1 star, say, and then you turn around and address that issue. I mean, most people, all they want to do is be heard. They want to see if you actually care about them and what they're as a customer. But I mean, sometimes they'll go back and change that review to a 5 stars or 4 stars just because you addressed it and you took care of that issue. Then there's no longer an issue, and you look good in that customer's eyes.
A good example of the bad side of that, like Yelp is a bit of a cartel, right? Like you can, they can manipulate it any way they want so that you pay to have the good reviews shown. But another site that gets mentioned to me quite regularly is this one called ripoffreport.com.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's such a piece of crap site. Anyone can go and claim anything they want on it. There's no verification that you're a customer or anything. And it does have authority. And so it ranks pretty well.
Yeah.
And so, this is why I try and say to people about reputation engineering, like, go and cement your reputation, own the top 10. Have all of your stuff indexed there for years. So if some fool comes and writes a thing, is angry for you for whatever reason, or a competitor, and they write something on Ripoff Report, it doesn't pop into the top 10 because that looks nasty, and people go, oh, they just see the name and it doesn't sound good, right? But burying it can be really hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely, I agree. And I don't know if it's just the authority of the site, or I'd like to meet the SEO that works there.
No, it's just the authority of the site. It's because the pages that I've seen when it gets brought to my attention, they they generally have no links or anything. So it's just that it's got your name, and ranking for your name is not very difficult.
Yeah, true. Again, those are places that need to be monitored by either an agency or a brand, because you need to be on those as soon as they pop up.
I love what you have to say about reputation engineering, and it's making me think a lot about not only reputation but content in general, and how as a business grows, as it continues to be around, the longer the business is there, the longer it's had an opportunity to create content to solidify its reputation. This is cumulative. The more good things you do right now, the more able you are in the future to leverage all the good things that you've done from the past. You want to address the cumulative nature of reputation engineering?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, it's the same as getting content out there. And then, links is super important for SEO, right? Like, the fundamentals of how Google works is backlinks. And so you can do the same at the same time, be building your brand, building your backlinks by also providing content. Like, if you're in a local community, whether you're a pie shop down the road, right, you work with people in the local community, like maybe you help out at the sports center or whatever. It's like if you can provide content for their site, or if you're supporting their local track and field day or whatever, something that gets you some publicity, gets you in the media, even in local media. Like, every little town has a local rag, as we call it in Australia, a local newspaper. Mm-hmm. And getting in those by sponsoring a local event's generally not very hard. And then you're going to pop up when someone searches your name, and that looks pretty nice, right? So it's pretty easy to get content out there that, if you're doing a good job, like it shouldn't be hard if you're not a total,
All right. Michelle, you got something?
I love it. All right. Listen clearly, people. What he just told you was that your PR efforts also pay off in solidifying the positive response to your reputation as a brand. So don't devalue PR and shunt it off into a corner, because there are long-term benefits to doing PR in social, in digital, that go far beyond just the event or the whatever that you're getting involved in the moment. These things will also positively affect the reputation of your brand in the long run.
Absolutely.
So anyone that is linking and talking about you, then you can help and share it on your own social media platforms. I mean, certainly Twitter's and Facebook index well, but YouTube is a awesome channel to put content on, because it's part of the Google ecosystem. So
sure.
Any time that Google can rank a YouTube video, they'll rank a YouTube video, because it keeps you on their platform, and that's where they make money, right? People clicking on their ads.
Yep.
So having a video about your brand name is pretty simple. If you were in the local newspaper, heck, make a 5 minutes or 2 minutes, slideshow about, here's what we did at the local fair, and here's the article. Boom, throw that on YouTube, and there you go. It's pretty easy to make content that's going to rank for that sort of stuff, and will pay dividends down the road.
I totally agree with you. And ranking a video with your brand that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
When it's optimized right. But the other thing I want to talk about too is third party endorsements. Doing outreach, not just for link building, but to get that third party endorsement from other brands or other companies. Talking about your brand or company.
Yeah, well, I mean, I certainly highly recommend that in the way of, we certainly do it a lot for backlinks, but
sure.
It's a way to build your brand. The bigger your brand, the stronger it is. I mean, one example is there's a yogi that we work with in Wellington in New Zealand, and he's quite a prevalent yogi around the world. And so he provides content. We work with other yoga studios in Australia and the US, and they all need content. So it's like, great, you get content, you get a link. But that content ranks for his name, ranks for his studio, ranks for their name, ranks for their studio. So it's it's a win-win situation. So backlinks are what Google is all about. So
absolutely,
you use it to your advantage multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the link is the icing on the cake, but getting that third-party endorsement is huge for ranking as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, having a big name say that they love your work, then that's super awesome. I mean, we even ask our customers, are you happy with our services? Would you mind saying something nice about us? It's a great way to even find out how they are. If they don't want to give you a testimonial, well, there's probably something wrong. So go and fix it. So get in there before. We're a high touch company. Like, we don't have, like, if you're selling like lollipops or something that's really cheap and you're selling millions of them, then it's pretty hard to speak to every single customer.
Sure.
But we know our customers, because we need to know their brand and know their goals and develop a strategy for them. So it's a lot easier. But a bigger kind of retail company may have issues with that.
Sure. Another thing I'd like to add to that is the fact that, like you said earlier, you'd prefer a company to come in before there's anything bad going on and keep that reputation high. Things like doing surveys to your customer base. If you've got an email list of all your customers, email them out. Have them do a survey. You'd be surprised if you ask the right questions, what you'll get back and how you can improve that.
Yeah, in fact, I was just taking a walk before and listening to a book called The Psychology of Sales. It's kind of an older book. But that's one thing that he was talking about is speak to your existing customers and even ask them why they chose your company. And generally you'll find that it's the similar reason, and that's your that's your strength. And so that's what you should push.
And use that opportunity to I'm just kidding. Upsell. Just kidding. By the way, no. Michelle, you got something to add?
I'm just thinking, so let's take folks through kind of the basic steps of how to get started with reputation management, with reputation engineering. I know that this is certainly here in the States, it's something that stays on a lot of people's minds. You should have seen the crowd for the spokesperson from Yelp at Rocks Digital a couple of months ago. Everybody was just hanging on this guy's word, because Yelp, at least around here, is, live or die by the Yelp review for a lot of businesses. And I know that there are plenty of companies, large and small, there's like, okay, this is important to me. It's important to my customers, but I really don't know how to get started, what I need to be doing, where I need to be putting resources. Can you kind of walk us through getting started, and then what do you invest in for the long term? Where do you put effort? Where do you put personnel? Where do you put assets in order to, in a way, what we're talking about is make ourselves a bit more bulletproof to those moments when there is a troll online?
Great question.
Yes. In fact, we've got a customer who is an SEO agency himself, and he gets all of his business through his Yelp profile, not through his website. His Yelp, Yelp's such an authority site anyway, but he optimized his Yelp page for SEO his city, then built some links to it, and boom, and it's full of testimonials. So it's, you type SEO his city, you see his page, it's got full of testimonials, and it's like, man, he does great out of that. Nice. And it's a whole lot easier than managing your website. But and in fact, another where I had lunch today, Backyard Cafe here in Phnom Penh, they have these nice little cards on on every table today that have a picture. Go, oh, if you leave us a review on TripAdvisor, we'll give you a free dessert. You know, which my friend that I was having lunch with, he took him up on the deal. So, you know, it certainly works.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a cheap way to buy a review, really.
Yeah,
it's pretty up.
And they're more apt to give you a good review.
Yeah, it's pretty, well...
Unless the dessert was bad.
Search Talk Live is sponsored by the Robert Palmer family of companies. Check out robertpalmercompanies.com for more information.
Find the true value of your home when you log on. Homevalue.com.
Get your questions in on Twitter. Type hashtag Search Talk Live and your question. Now back to the show.
But yeah, I mean, it really depends on what kind of business you have. If you're retail, then, you know, Yelp or Google Maps. I mean, you know, I travel quite a lot and to cities that I've never been to, and I always just pull out my phone and go, you know, cafe. So make sure you got nice photos. Make sure it looks good. You know, like I like to sit outside, so I'm always looking for the like a nice area to sit at, where like so many people's Google images are like, you know, pictures of a cake or whatever, or some stock image, and you're like, yeah, I know what a cake looks like. That's not why I'm going there. But I guess you got to appeal to all your people. But
sure, personalize it more though.
Yeah, but asking for comments. It's like, you know, YouTube videos. If you know, I watch lots of those little sciencey sort of videos, and they always ask, oh, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, like and comment. You know, asking for it, you get more of it. Yeah. So, you know, if you got someone in your bakery or cafe, ask them, did you like your coffee? Cool. You want to leave a review? You know, maybe not everyone will, but some will. You can bribe them if you like to.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to recommend too is if you Google My Business. If you're a business of any type, you need to have that. It brings a lot of clients and traffic. But their review that you give reviews on there, and the reason I like it is because the companies and clients I've worked with, we've created workflow. So, let's say you're a plumber and you did some plumbing work for somebody. You send out a survey to survey to the client you did the work for, and they fill out the review. And if they answer correctly on the first reviews, you know, good comments, it automatically directs them to the Google My Business page so they can leave a review.
Yeah, I mean, there's a super great. You know, if you get in there first, and well, if you asked one client every day to leave a review, you know, even if you just get one a week that says yes and actually does it,
yeah,
you know, it compounds, and over the years you got a whole bunch of reviews, and it's really hard for anyone to come and attack you. Like one of my friends who's a yoga teacher, I've been trying to teach her a bit about how to be an entrepreneur, and one was creating a Facebook page, and I said, well, talk to your previous clients and get some reviews, and one gave her 4 stars because he thought she's too expensive, and she was like gutted. It's like, you gotta have some tight asses, yeah.
That's not really a bad review though. I mean,
yeah,
you can't have all 5 stars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I even said to her. You know, it looks better having like 4.9 or 4.8. It looks more authentic that you didn't just like. So we work with quite a lot of personal injury lawyers, and I was just trolling Google Maps recently, and it's like they all have 5 stars. You know, like everyone all around the US. It's like, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, always got to take reviews with a pinch of salt.
Right. And people can read through and see which is, you know, they know which is fake.
Which is why if you do get a big long one, like I was talking about the drug treatment center,
mm-hmm.
well, it looks authentic, and it is authentic that
right.
You're like going, hey, sorry that your husband relapsed. I mean, and I don't deal with it.
Yeah. I don't know if you preach this, but I tell people not to do fake reviews. I mean, don't go to Fiverr and say, hey, give me 10, you know, or something like that. Try to get legit, because
Well, it's a good way to interact with your customers too, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so we do with a lot of business to business, so I find LinkedIn's really great. So I always get reviews on LinkedIn, and it is a great way because you can see that they're real people straight away, because everyone's got a LinkedIn profile, where like not everyone's got a Google profile. So Google Maps, and with the SEO agency, Google Maps doesn't really mean much. I mean, who cares,
Yeah, absolutely. Michelle?
I have a question as far as your customer service team or your frontline team, if you're like a restaurant or, a retail storefront type business. What do you recommend as far as training your on-site employees to kind of keep that reputation ball rolling, whether that is training them to, not only upsell the cheesecake, but also ask for the review sort of thing. I had a great experience when I moved house not too long ago, and the two moving guys that hauled stuff up and down stairs and whatever were absolutely phenomenal. And at the end of the move, when he was having me fill out the rest of my paperwork, he said, "Oh, by the way, if you would please leave us a review." And, like I said, these guys were phenomenal and just went way above and beyond my expectations. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, I'm going to do, absolutely. Without a doubt, I'll do that. But it's because he was trained to do so. It was something that had been drilled into him by his employer, that this is important to me, right, and I need for you to make sure that you do that. So can we speak a little bit to actually training your employees to take responsibility for this piece?
But after you left, Michelle, did you actually do it?
Yes, actually, I did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's if that's really important to your business, then certainly you certainly should do that. I mean, I just listened to the audiobook called "Delivering Happiness" by the CEO of Zappos, and anyone that has a customer service based business, like that's their whole thing: delivering happiness, delivering wow. And that's why they got bought by Amazon, because they're both huge customer service companies that align with each other so well. And if you're in retail, then that's what you do. That's what makes you special, because you can buy shoes anywhere, right? You want to go to Zappos for the experience. So yeah, it's the same if you can buy cake or cheesecake, or you're a commodity basically. So you better make sure it's a good user experience with good stuff.
Sure. And Zappos is a great example. I mean, that's a brand that they took a long time to build up, but actually, I would say in a
couple of years.
Yeah. I was going to say, no, short time actually, but
it took 4 or 5 years for them to get $1 billion in retail.
Yeah, but it's nuts.
Yeah.
But
that dude's pretty smart.
Yeah, I actually tried to get him on the show one time, but I haven't heard back from him. But that's a good example of they built a reputation, in a very, very short time, but they did a good job.
Yeah, well, and that's also, I'm sorry, that's also baked into Zappos company culture, in that this, for them, everything is about customer service. I mean, yeah, sure, we like selling product, but what's really important to us is our customer service. So for them, it's cultural. They tell their employees, we don't care what it is you actually do day to day, you are also a customer service representative. And a lot of folks that maybe don't normally deal with completing a sale are given an opportunity from time to time to sit in the customer service seat and remember that, this is all about the customers. So that's what I go back to again, that this has to be part of the way that you train your people, that this has to be part of your culture within your company, your organization, your whatever. It's an investment in your people because it's an investment in your customers.
Absolutely.
But it can it does depend on what industry you are. Like, one thing we've found is if we're not proactive enough setting our strategies for, we work with people's websites and their online reputations. And if we're not proactive enough setting out their strategy, they tend to try and do it themselves and then kind of use us as the tool. And it's like, well, man, we're the people that are meant to know what we're doing, and you hired us because we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And so then it's kind of like the horse before the cart, and then we have to reshuffle and explain to them why we do it this way. So it's the customer is always right. It doesn't always work in a professional environment where everyone knows what a website is and has a rough idea about it. But I'd like to think that some years of experience that we get a better idea of how to rank it and how to make it convert better. And that at the end of the day, that's why you hired us. So trust in our knowledge, and I imagine most service professionals have the same sort of attitude. Well, you know what I mean?
Sure. Hey, that someone trying to take it on themselves, it can also backfire on. As far as I'm going to build links or whatever, and they know enough to be dangerous type of thing.
Oh yeah. They're often the worst customers too.
Yeah, worst clients.
Yeah. Where our ideal clients are the guys that just drive us more customers. Sure, no worries, we'll go and do it.
Yep.
And after some time, you do build trust, and they, I don't even think they look at the reports. It's like they trust us that we're doing good work, and each and every month they're getting more and more customers. So it's,
Yep, that's a good client.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What do you want to talk about next, Michelle?
Well, let's dig into, because we've danced around it a little bit, but I really want to address some of the best practices, so to speak, of how to deal with a negative comment, a negative review. When do you engage in that publicly? When do you take that offline? When do you go, okay, this person is just a troll and they're there for no good purpose. All they want to do is trash the brand. How do you make those distinctions as to, when is it going to be valuable to you to engage, and when is it time to just shut it down?
Yeah, it could be your competition trying to,
Yeah, it depends on what your brand persona is, but I would go with, if there's a troll being a dick, then just be a dick back and be funny. It's like fight fire with fire. I mean, don't be rude, but if they're just writing something that doesn't make any sense, you can put something back that's shows that they're just being immature or whatever. But if it's a legitimate person, then deal with it. I wouldn't just ignore it to start with, but eventually, if they're just an idiot. Everyone's seen these sort of comment fights in Facebook or Twitter. It's some people do have way too much time on their hands, and you want to sit there and entertain them, or you want to invest the time in your real customers that are paying money.
Sure. I mean, at least in my eyes, you need to 100% of the time at least leave some kind of comment to show that you are trying to address the issue.
And I really think that's all you can do. And
you can't
give them your phone number and say, if you really got a problem,
let's
give me a call and we can deal with it.
Exactly.
Well, and that's not the only circumstance that might require you to take things either offline or at least private, because even with customers that have legitimate issues, there are bits of private customer information that you may very well need in order to resolve the issue, whether it's an account number or their personal phone number or any number of things. And for those reasons, even though they're a legitimate complaint, you're trying to get it fixed, you don't want to expose that customer to a leakage of their private information. And those are also issues that you would want to take the conversation offline for resolution purposes, and then encourage them to come back to the public forum and say, yes, they did all the things that I needed for them to do. They've resolved this. I'm really pleased with, despite the fact that we had a problem, I'm pleased with how they handled it.
Yeah, and then that's going to make people happy. I mean, brands can be a bit silly. A rather big brand a little while ago, I was testing out a couple accounting platforms that my accountant wanted me to have a look at. And I'd cancelled one. Well, I thought I did. And there was some discrepancy anyway, and they were like going to charge me again. And it was like $10 or some like pity amount. And I'm like, get out of it. I haven't even used it. Like, and you just cancel the account. They're like, oh, no, we can't because of this and this and this. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want. It's your platform. Just, why make a fuss over $10? It's like, I'm just going to call my bank and get a charge back and then, write something dirty on the internet about you. Is it really worth it? And then clearly someone a bit higher up the chain, logged in and went, yeah, sorry, we'll just refund that $10. And you're like, well, sometimes people can be a bit short-sighted in the whole thing, and you're not going to be a customer anyway, but just give them their money back and walk away.
Right. So what kind of, would you recommend someone hiring professional services for it? Obviously it depends on the size of the company because not everybody has the resources, but ideally... Yeah,
not everyone even has the budget. So
sure.
The guy that's hired us recently, I don't know what his income is, but he said, I want to do stuff a whole lot quicker, and we charged him a couple of grand more to push stuff down because it's meant to be down in the next 12 days.
And so then,
yeah, exactly, and it's all moving in the right way, but we got to smash a whole lot of stuff out,
Yeah.
And it's he probably should have started a little bit earlier, and I guess he's got budget. But this is why I always push the reputation engineering. Get in there first. Don't let someone hound your reputation and hurt it.
Yeah. So ideally, let's break this down for the listeners. You're going to need somebody that writes content.
Check.
I'll let you go down the list. Someone to monitor reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't personally interact much with social media, so I can't recommend any platforms there. But yeah, have a Google of your own name, your own brand, your business name, your products and services. Set up your Google alerts. It takes a second and it's free. And make sure that when you Google your name, when you Google your business name, it should come out, it should break up into what's called site links. Mm-hmm. And so it should have probably about 6 different site links. So the main pages on your website. Ideally, you'll have a Google Maps listing on the right-hand side. Then underneath, you should have your Facebook page, your LinkedIn profile, your Twitter profile, then, some other nice, healthy articles about you. And boom, the top 10's full. And people go, great, this guy looks amazing. And that's not hard to do.
Yeah.
But that's protected you, that some nut job comes along, goes, this guy's a old, and writes something nasty. Well, it's not going to make a dent. So, get in there.
Sure. And I think, too, I think that's why it's important to have your social media links somewhere visible on the website. Because they're going to go to one of those 3 if they don't contact you directly to leave a comment or leave a review or...
Yeah, and it's a sign of trust for both the user and trust for Google. Google looks at all these things because, a real company has all of this stuff. Google can't tell if you're... Even if you're a plumber that's been in business for 20 years, Google can't tell. Yeah. They can tell what's being said on the internet. And so they can see, okay, cool, this guy looks legit. He's got all the social platforms. There's a little bit of interaction there. They know a plumber's not going to be posting every day, but there's something there that shows that it's a credible business.
Yeah, and then if you narrow it down to your social settings, people go there, you're going to need someone to monitor that social media.
Well, it also depends on how active you are in social media. So we'll take the plumber example because I like it. It's a really good one. And it's very typical, pardon me, particularly for small business or independent operators, entrepreneurs, that sort of thing, in that you may not have a lot of day-to-day activity on any of your social channels, but set a calendar reminder at least once a week to just go take a look. Don't forget about it. Get busy and go, oh, yeah, I didn't look at this week. Honestly, your efforts to maintain your reputation, at least on social media, may only take you a couple of minutes a week.
Right.
Just to go look and make sure that there wasn't anything there that week. And so long, it's more important to be consistent sometimes than it is to necessarily be fast and responsive. Now, that, again, depends on brand and actually what you're doing. But when we're talking about, a real life person like a plumber or whatever, most people are going to be okay with the fact that I left a comment and it took them a little while because they're consistently coming back. They're checking on it. They don't just leave it forever and completely ignore it. They might be a little slower than I expect them to be, but they do eventually make it over there. That's what's more important. And like I said, sometimes that's just a few minutes a week to make sure that everything's okay over there and you haven't missed something.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, you can also use that to help your conversions, right? Like, if you are a plumber and you're out there building bathrooms that cost $10,000, nice bathroom remodeling is quite expensive. What's the last job you did? Well, take a photo and post it on your social media. It looks good. You go, here we are down at Julie's place. Put in a new bathroom.
Right.
And it doesn't take a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when you're there sharing a photo, how hard is it to just quickly scroll through the rest of the stuff on your cell phone? Hello, most of social media is on your cell phone. You don't even have to go back to the office and deal with your desktop. Just make sure that once you've posted that photo, take a couple of extra seconds and just take a look and make sure there isn't something else going on that you need to address.
And if you tag your customer Julie there, she'll probably leave a comment and her friends will see it and, they admired her bathroom last time they're over and there's your new customers.
There you go.
Right. So a lot of reputation management is just being in the habit of doing the right things in the right places.
Yeah, I agree. I would say more than once a week. I'd say probably maybe twice a week check that stuff. Because if somebody leaves a message to you or something, you don't want to wait a week to get a response,
Well, certainly, but there are certain channels. So, like I said, we talk a lot about it depends. So your Facebook channel, yes, you may need to check it daily or twice a week or more often than, say, you check Twitter or even for some businesses, LinkedIn. I mean, for a plumber, they're probably not going to get much activity on LinkedIn.
Right.
But they need to go check it every once in a while. Whereas they're getting a lot of activity on Facebook, they need to make sure that they're checking that one more regularly. But because you've made the habit of checking this stuff, you very quickly figure out, oh, okay, I can go check my LinkedIn, once every couple of weeks, where I'm checking my Facebook every, 2 or 3 days.
Right. All right. Well, we got about, what do we have, Dave? 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's give Kris. Let's have. Why don't you give us your tattoo, the things you need to do. Make part of your workflow for your brand, on a daily basis or weekly basis or however you want to break it down.
The one thing that I find that people have trouble with is publishing what they do. Mm-hmm. I mean, generally they're passionate about what they do. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Like, so I'm a yogi, right? And all of my yogi friends that are teachers, they are super passionate about what they do. That's all they talk about all the time. But when it comes to building a website, they don't do anything. Like, in fact, where I practice every day, they ask me to help them with their website. So I, registered a domain for them, hosted it, put WordPress on there, set up a theme, went, there you go. And I sent them a reminder a month later, can I help you with this? Like, no, we're fine. A couple months later, can I help you with this? No, it's fine. A year later, I'm like, are you kidding? You haven't done a single thing. Like, they just don't know where to start. They find it like inability. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a lot of that people lose confidence. They go, well, who am I to talk? You know, because there's all these other professionals that I'm just nothing or whatever. But it's like, well, if you get out there and do it, like my yoga teacher, I pushed her to like do a yoga retreat that she was really scared about. And when, you know, she's like, well, is anyone going to come? You know, I'm like, it'll be fine. Just go and do it. If not, we'll just go and have a nice weekend. It'll be cool. And in no time flat, you know, she needed 6 people to break even. You know, we posted some stuff on Facebook on some local groups, and in no time flat, she had 8 people. And she's like, wow, this is awesome. She started getting some confidence. And so then she started, you know, making some videos and posting those on her page and in local groups and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's been a great success. And it's like, wow, every time we post on Facebook, we get new people signing up. Like, well, yeah, amazing, yeah. But like, that's all building your reputation. And people, the same people, well, even more established brands, they don't build their website. They don't have good content out there. Like, you got into business, do whatever you do because you like doing what you do. Just show people that you're passionate about what you do. Like, if you're a plumber, I dare say you like plumbing. Otherwise, you'd find something else to do, you know? So it's like, show people that you like doing it and get it out there. Show yourself. I mean, a lot of the time people buy your service because of you. So if you can show you, then you make sales and you get to work with people that you want to work with.
Yeah. Now, staying on the whole plumber thing, but what would your recommendation be? Let's say the guy's a plumber, he's not a writer. Let's just face it. You know, at that point, should you hire services to maybe write content for you, or maybe hire?
I think the real easiest thing to do there is pull out your phone, turn it around, put the camera on you, and talk about what you do, because that's authentic. No one's expecting a plumber to speak like a Oscar winner. You can stutter, you can do whatever. But people go, great, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah. And that's all you have to do is the trust, right? It's like when you get your car fixed and they go, oh, it needs to change the defibrillator. And you're like, well, what the hell's that? I don't know. All you're trying to do is ask them some questions so that you can get enough, can I trust this guy? And once the trust's there, you go, cool, all right, charge me $10 million to fix my car. Yeah. And away you go. And it's the same pretty much with any service. You're trusting the expert. And so as long as they come across sounding like an expert and you go, yeah, that sounds legit, cool.
Sure, that's excellent.
Ready to buy.
That's excellent advice, because I don't know how many times I go to YouTube in a month to find out how to do something. Or, if I need to, I remodel my kitchen thanks to YouTube. But I remember that brand from watching those videos. And, if I have something I need, parts or whatever, I order it from that guy because I'm, like, damn, that guy knows his stuff, and my kitchen turned out great. I saved some money.
Ah, good job.
Yeah. Weekend warrior.
So was that a guy that supplies hardware?
Yeah.
And he's got all tutorial videos, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fantastic.
He taught me how to measure the cabinets to make sure I got the right sizes, or not the cabinets, but the countertops. How to take them apart, put them together, all that good stuff. So it was pretty good. So I ordered the countertops. Yeah.
And even if the videos aren't like a Hollywood production, it shows that you know what you're talking about and you can get your point across. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're out of time, man. Kris, it's been an awesome show. I thank you for coming on and getting your advice. It's really cool to have somebody. I guess you've listened to the podcast before, or?
Yeah. That's how we came about to speak.
Oh, nice. Okay. We've got listeners all over the world. To me, that just floors me because it's amazing. But I really thank you for coming on and appreciate it. If someone wants to reach you on Twitter, how can they do that?
Well, if they want to reach me anywhere, if you go to Google and you type in the coolest guy in SEO, you'll see my pretty face and follow it from there.
Nice. That's a testament for your optimization skills there.
That's called reputation engineering.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Michelle, thank you for being on the show and co-hosting with me. And,
my pleasure.
And I want to give you another shout out. Thanks for live tweeting the shows every week. I really appreciate that. It's been
right on. So for those of you that want to follow us on Twitter, obviously you can use the Search Talk Live hashtag. And you will probably see me or my agency account tweeting along, sharing information, and passing on questions to Robert and our guests.
Yeah. So, Kris, what time is it over there right now?
Oh, it's my bedtime. It just ticked 9 p.m.
Oh, wow. All right, man. Well, have a good night. Thanks again. The show will be posting out on social media soon. And thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Search Talk Live is sponsored by the Robert Palmer family of companies.
Find the true value of your home when you log on. HomeValue.com.
If you have questions for Search Talk Live, or you're interested in being a guest or a sponsor of the show, email Robert at searchtalklive.com. That's searchtalklive.com.